This is my Suzuki 1050 DE, and today we're going to give the chain a good scrub and a re-lube because the bike's done 530 miles. I don't think the chain's ever been looked at properly in that time. Even though it was serviced, it's not up to my spec. I want that chain spick and span. So what I thought I'd do today is just go through what I used to clean up the chain. It's really straightforward. There is literally 3 things involved, and it probably takes half an hour when you know how to do it properly. And it's really important to lube the chain on a motorcycle. There are some people that think you shouldn't even lube a chain, but I've never ever come across a chain that looks good that isn't lubed. Basically, the chain is the thing that drives your back wheel. So in my eyes, it should be spick and span, and it's one of my pet hates when I see a rusty, horrible chain or even a noisy chain. And that's another thing. When the chain's really noisy, you can hear it going all the time. So why not lube it up, make it sound nice and quiet, and save yourself some money in the long term, because getting a new chain is not a cheap option. I am looking at getting maybe an automatic chain luber like Scott Oiler or something like that, but I haven't really looked into that just yet. And I quite like this because it gives you a chance to properly inspect the chain and make sure all is good. So let's get on with it.
Tom's TC.
So before we begin, let's look at the product that I use to do my chain. Now, I've always used this True Tension stuff because I find after using loads of different products, this stuff gives me the best results. It doesn't fling too much. The chain cleaner is really good for not only your chain, but actually cleaning your brakes as well. And they come this, I think most, I mean even Oxford do these as well, but you know, you can clean, get a bit of dust off of it. You can clean the chain, you can get into all the nooks and crannies where you need to. But basically, this stuff is really good, and you just need a rag to give the chain a good clean as well and wipe off any excess as well. So let's go and check it out on the bike. Okay, so we're down with the bike, down with the chain, and as you can see, the chain is okay. It's definitely got some lube on it, but it's not particularly clean. And I know it's got service next week, but I want the chain to my specification, and I service it most. Well, I do chain lubing pretty much once a week anyway. So first of all, make sure you've got a nice bit of cardboard down in your garage floor if you're worried about the floor, because the mess will get everywhere. You can get these things from True Tension actually, which go behind the chain to save the rest of the wheel, but I'm not particularly fussed at this stage. So first of all, you need some chain cleaner. And basically what I like to do is just get onto the chain like so, give it a good spray, onto the chain, and move that along a little bit. And we're just going to let that work its magic for a little while, and you can already see that there's quite a number of drips coming off, and they're black as hell. So that's what will happen. Get this brush, or any sort of brush, even a toothbrush will do, and then get it onto the chain, work it backwards and forwards on each section of the chain, rolling it through like so, until basically you know that you have cleaned the whole length of the chain. Now, to get the back side of the chain, you need to go here and basically do exactly the same thing, just giving the chain a good rub as it goes through, and that way you know you've got every angle of the chain cleaned. And just work it all the way through, giving it a good scrub. There we go. And then I just get the chain cleaner again, run it through again. And that's running down the swing arm as well, over here, which is marvellous. And then give it another scrub with this. like so, making sure the chain is nice and scrubbed. Then get your rag, nice clean, well, cleanish rag, doesn't have to be amazingly clean. And then just run it over the chain like so. You want to get as much of the chain cleaner off as you can. And the reason for that is so that you're not spraying over the top of chain cleaner, because the chain lube will not grip particularly well to a chain covered in chain cleaner. And you can just pull it through with your hands. One thing you should never do is run the bike in gear and let the chain spin round. It won't take much for a rag to get caught in your fingers in there, and it ain't nice. If you're squeamish, look away now, but here's a picture of what could happen. So, carry on rubbing it all the way through. Lots of fun. Once you've given the chain a pretty good rub over with the rag, just go over any bits and pieces as well, like I said, try not to drop it in the dirt. Over your swing arm, getting all that excess stuff gone. And you can also, if you want to, it's not essential, but give the sprocket a clean up too. When you do this, it just takes off any excess stuff, any sort of dried up lube that's there. Just get it as good as you can, really. Get it to what you like. As long as you're doing your chain, it doesn't really matter. So let's have a good look at that chain as it is now. So as you can see, the chain looks pretty clean. What I like to do is just let that sit for a few minutes, and then we'll apply the chain lube. With the chain nice and clean now, the best thing to do is apply the chain lube, so give it a good shake before you do. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to apply the lube to the inside of the chain, not the outside. And the reason we do that is just pure physics, basically. As the bike runs, as you accelerate, the chain lube is going to go from the inside of the chain to the outside, and it's going to lube all the bits and pieces without too much fling off. We don't want too much fling off. There's no point in doing the outside. Just spray on the inside, and you don't really need a lot. So that's basically it. It's literally just a couple of revolutions round. And then what we do is get a clean part of our rag, or a cleanish part of our rag, and take off any excess, like so. And there's also a bit dripping off still. So just get your rag and just wipe that all away as much as you can. And then basically the lube will dry onto the chain and create a nice seal, a weatherproof seal basically, so it stops rusting, keeps your chain lubed all the time. Make sure that you try not to spray too much on your tyre, because you really don't want it on the outside edge. But that's basically it. The chain is now clean and ready for another 500 to 1,000 miles of riding. Or if you're like me, you do a week's riding and get itchy feet and want to clean your chain. So that's generally what I do. So you can just apply lube every 500 miles, visually inspect the chain, make sure it's all nice and clean as best it can be if you want to save time. Obviously, the other thing with this bike is it's got a nice handy centre stand, which basically means I can just pop it up onto the centre stand ready to go. Obviously with my MT-01, I have to put it onto a paddock stand. So you can do these with this as well, but you might as well use the centre stand because it's a really handy feature to have. So that is now the chain lubed and ready for another 500 miles, 1,000 miles of riding, however way you look at it. Chain maintenance is a little bit subjective to the opinion of the person that owns a motorcycle. This is my way, this is how I like to do it. I am really funny about chains, so I'm constantly keeping an eye on them and I'm constantly maintaining them. I think it's really important. Maybe you don't. If you have other ways, or you think this is the wrong way, please comment below, let me know. I'm really interested to see what other people do. But for me, this is my way. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. It really helps the channel. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time on Tom's TC. Pew. I love this bike.